Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Donaron.com podcast. I'm Adam, and I'm joined again by my friend Beau. Of course, we're all both sitting around enjoying a nice, crisp, refreshing Busch Light. You know, there's nothing more than nothing I need more on a weekend than a drink, some good company, and some games to talk about, as well as playing a few good games. But you know, we were sitting around and we were remembering sort of our heyday and our adolescence, and what games we were playing back then. And it kind of dawned on us that starting in 1998 and the sixth generation of gaming consoles was just a pristine time to be alive and able to play some video games. And I know you know more about it than I do. Where do we even begin? The Dreamcast?
The Dreamcast was the first one.
So did you have a Dreamcast?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a Dreamcast. The Sega Dreamcast was gigantic when it came out. I remember, or at least because I was still in elementary school. I was in the twilight of my elementary school because we didn't get it until September 9th, 1999.
Yeah.
Nope. I take that back. I was not in. I had just started junior high.
Okay.
But we had heard about it my last semester of elementary school.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so Japan got it on November 27th, 1998.
Yeah.
We got it on September 9th, 1999. They did it on purpose, 9/9/99. And I just remember the ad campaign around it was huge. Everyone was so excited about it. And unfortunately, it was the first one in its generation. So when the other ones came out, they were more advanced, more powerful. They just had heavier hitting.
Sure.
But there's a lot of things that led to the fall, because the Dreamcast only lasted 3 years in North America.
What game was drawing you towards it?
So Sonic Adventure was the first one that drew me to it. It was a Sonic that looked a lot more like Mario 64. Sonic Adventure is not as polished of a game as Mario 64.
Sure.
It is extremely buggy, but it was Sonic, and it really felt good seeing Sonic finally go into the 3D. He didn't on Saturn.
Yeah.
It was just one of the many things that made Saturn a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
But a lot of things drew us to the Dreamcast. There was a modem on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
There was going to be online Sega Play.
Yeah.
So that was the first game that drew me to it. The legendary game for me though from the Dreamcast is Shenmue.
What? I don't know if I'm familiar with. Is that a ninja game?
It's basically an adventure game. It's basically it plays out the thing it plays out the most like is one of the old point and click LucasArts games.
Yeah. But
it's not point and click. It's an interactive world. It's just an incredible. It was one of the first live another life experiences.
Yeah.
In gaming. But, in fact, Shenmue 3 is coming out sometime soon.
Yeah.
They're sort of revisiting it. They re-released it for the PlayStation and stuff like that, 1 and 2. But, my whistle with a little Busch Light there.
Did you, aside Sonic, I remember growing up and a fan of the Sonic, I feel like this might be a trope that is or is not true, but it was true. I know with me, the imagery of Sonic versus Mario. It seemed like that was still a time period where you might be picking sides.
Yeah, no, absolutely. People were still picking sides between Sonic and Mario at this time.
Because you remember that famous kind of like Sonic with his hand down in there and he's looking all cool and like he should have a skateboard doing it. Yeah,
he was the
doing
hip
a 1080 somewhere.
And it's funny because looking back on it,
yeah,
Mario objectively has the better games.
Oh my god!
Period.
Mario 64 was great.
Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo,
and then going in, I guess staying with the 6th gen consoles, Mario Sunshine was a huge hit.
Mario Sunshine, Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, you can't go
Sonic
wrong.
Didn't join that until 2008 with Brawl.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Dreamcast was the first one that really introduced us, and the next one to come out was in the year 2000, the most legendary home console of all time, the best-selling home console of all time, and I believe the longest lasting before it was discontinued, the PlayStation 2.
Oh my god. Yeah, because they, I was looking it up earlier. And
2013 is when they finally discontinued that.
yeah, it's still making games for it even beyond that, weren't they?
The last game made for it was actually it was one of the expansions of Final Fantasy XI, Rhapsodies of Vana'diel.
That is nuts.
And that was in May 2015.
Yeah.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That is nuts. What gave the PS2, I think, some help there was it was the first system that was truly now a part of your home entertainment system. Because it could play DVDs,
It was cheaper
right?
than a DVD player when it came out.
You got a DVD player.
And it was cheaper than one.
You could plug in a USB and play music.
Mm-hmm.
And you could play your video games on it.
And another thing was it was black. It looked like an appliance.
Yeah.
The same marketing with
Sleek.
the Nintendo Entertainment System that they did in the 80s. It was...
Yeah.
No one minded having that in the living room. It didn't look like a damn toy.
It looked like a
sitting in the living
set-top box,
room.
basically.
Yep. And it was... And I remember Aaron's parents, Aaron's stepdad and his mom, loved the PS2.
Going back to the Dreamcast for a minute there, were there any Final Fantasies?
No. Final Fantasy.
Because this was strictly Sega.
Yes, strictly. That was one of the things that killed it was all these third-party systems weren't jumping on to this.
That's what I was about to ask next, is who other than Sega was developing for it?
I mean, plenty of people were. Capcom made...
That's right. Okay.
Both Power Stone games were Capcom.
Yeah.
They re-released... in fact, Code Veronica, Resident Evil Code Veronica was originally just a Dreamcast game. It was an exclusive.
Yeah.
That's changed now. But no, it was very much... And Sega just doesn't have the first-party power Nintendo has.
Yeah.
Nintendo can survive off first-party. Look at the Wii.
Yeah.
People were like, it's too hard to develop games for the Wii. We don't want to do it. The Wii almost sold more than the PlayStation 2. It's Nintendo's best-selling console of all time.
Yeah.
The Wii.
Really? Is it still more than the Switch?
Yeah, but the Switch is really good. The Switch is currently the best-selling console in Japan, I believe.
Gotcha.
Probably over here, too. I mean, just the Switch is becoming as ubiquitous. I can see the Switch is kind of the new PS2.
Well, especially with Microsoft jumping on board with it. The Xbox games that are coming out. I think they had Cuphead. Xbox Live is rumored, if not confirmed, to be coming to Switch.
Minecraft is on there with full Minecraft to server things.
But then going back, I keep trying to reel us back into the Dreamcast because it is still such a fascinating system to me. But I
love the Dreamcast.
I love that they. I didn't know you still had one.
Yep.
Wow.
I just played it the other day.
That's cool. What games do you have for it besides Sonic?
I have both Sonic Adventures. I have Skies of Arcadia.
Oh, that is one of my favorite JRPGs ever.
Right, and you, I assume, played the GameCube one, which that's another interesting point, is almost all of these major Dreamcast games, the moment the Dreamcast was discontinued, got re-released on the GameCube, specifically.
Did Sega have a partnership with the Nintendo at that point?
So, let's walk back to 2001, right?
Sure.
Where we grew up in 2001, we had the internet, but we weren't really quick to use it.
I remember only being able to load text-based things on GameFAQs.
So whenever we started seeing all these games come out for the GameCube that we just played last year on the Dreamcast, the big rumor where we grew up was that Nintendo bought Sega. We all genuinely believed that.
Yeah.
It's not true. They were releasing games for the PlayStation 2 like a year later. The Dreamcast just seemed like the logical place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, the GameCube just seemed like the logical place to go. So the GameCube's legacy really lived on through... did I say the GameCube again?
You said, you meant Dreamcast.
Yeah, the Dreamcast legacy really lived on through the GameCube.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting point, is because we all believed, because, when you don't know, back then you didn't necessarily look it up. We were, freshmen in high school in 2001?
Yeah.
I was. I think you might have been in 8th grade.
I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, but that's what we believe. 9/11 hadn't happened yet. It was an innocent world.
Right.
But actually 9/11's kind of, I mean, that's heavy to talk about on this podcast, but that's kind of like when people started going to the internet more, like, I guess it kind of gut punched people into like, hey, let's check on things.
The information age really kicked into
Ironically enough, when we started getting tracked more,
right? I know. Yeah.
Whereas before, we could have looked up whatever the fuck we wanted.
Yeah.
But no. So yeah, that's the kind of interesting thing about the Dreamcast. There is that the Dreamcast it died, and then Nintendo just sort of picked up its spirit.
Yeah.
So anyway, you had the Dreamcast came out, then the PlayStation 2, and the PlayStation 2, like we said, was just gigantic, and then we had the Nintendo GameCube.
Before going into that, because PlayStation 2, I didn't own one, so the games for that I tend to forget about because I didn't play it, but I know there were some notable ones in there. So you had or did not have a PlayStation or PlayStation 2?
Tyler, my younger sibling, had a PlayStation 2.
Did
later.
Was he a big collector of the earlier games on it? Like when it was starting coming out? I'm thinking of things like there was a Metal Gear Solid game on.
So most of my PlayStation 2 was actually in Cody's basement.
Okay, yeah.
Cody had a PlayStation 2.
We didn't need GameFly.
And
we could go to Cody's basement.
And so Cody had like the bouncer, all these really
I remember
really
Bolt Kruger.
really different, really esoteric early releases.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X.
What were the PlayStation 2's launch titles?
That's a good question. I'm going to look those up right now.
Because 2001, 2002, what Final Fantasy would that be?
2001 was Final Fantasy X.
Gosh, that's hard to think about.
Yeah, and 2002 was Final Fantasy 11. And which was the first MMO for the PlayStation 2.
I do remember seeing, because Final Fantasy X was kind of a departure from what Final Fantasy 8, 9, and 7 were doing, right? It was more the 3D world. I remember thinking the other day while I was looking at Xenoblade Chronicles for the Switch, that really, the art style and the environment reminded me of 10.
Yeah. The island kind of thing.
Yeah.
The Polynesian thing. So I can't really remember what the launch titles were, but I remember very early games. Metal Gear Solid 2 came out very soon. In fact, it was released on September 11th, 2001 in North America, ironically enough.
Grand Theft
Auto 3. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 3. That was a huge one. That was the
first one I ever played.
That was a huge one. Everyone loved that game. Jak and Daxter.
Oh, yes. Oh, I just remember being young and thinking, up your arsenal.
No, that was Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
that was right. But that's another thing, is all these legendary series started on Devil May Cry was PlayStation 2. Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, God of War.
Did you ever play Sly Cooper?
Yes, Sly Cooper. Yes.
I just forgot about that.
And of course, something we talked about, my favorite game series of all time, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts debut. In fact, the first Kingdom Hearts is one of the 10 best-selling games for the PlayStation 2 ever.
Yeah, there were some just heavy hitters.
And the fact that they just became such huge series. And unfortunately, the bouncer just never took off as a series.
No, they need a reboot of that. And when the PlayStation 5 comes out,
the bouncer needs to be one of the launch titles.
And Volt Kruger needs to come back. I don't have any idea of the fate of any of those characters in that game. All I remember is playing Volt Kruger, that dramatic pause every time he went, winner! Volt Kruger. Such good times.
So up next, PlayStation 2 came out. Then we had the Xbox. And this was a brand new system, period.
I remember being surprised that was...
Wait a minute, hang on. Actually, was it the GameCube or was it the Xbox that was next in North America? Oh my god, it was within days of each other.
That's crazy. Which one was first?
Well, Nintendo GameCube was on November 18th, 2001, and the Xbox was on November 15th, 2001. So the Xbox edged it out by a couple days.
Wow.
By 3 days. So So I guess technically next we have the Xbox. And the only person in the world I knew that had an Xbox was Cody.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing we can actually talk about with the Xbox, I think the only thing that was significant about it, honestly, was Halo.
Was Rare sold before that?
2004 was when that sale was made.
Oh,
because the
okay.
last game Rare developed for Nintendo as a second party thing for Nintendo was Star Fox Adventures.
I really don't think you can do the Xbox justice without talking about 50 Cent Bulletproof.
See, I mean, this is where I'm going to be. This is one of my favorite generations of games.
Yeah.
Of gaming consoles. Don't remember that game at all.
It was a. I remember we rented it or whatnot. We took it over to Cody's, and it was just it. If there were memes back then, it was then. They had things like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance that I remember we were thinking was going to be cool. And that didn't happen. The Bard's Tale was on that Xbox. Battlefield and Battlefield 2 or whatnot.
By the way, it was 2002 that sale was made for Rare going over to Microsoft.
Because they had the... Because didn't they have... did they have Banjo-Tooie?
Banjo-Tooie was still 64, I think.
It was? Okay.
I think. I know they did Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, that terrible, awful, wretched game. I believe that was 360.
Really?
Yeah.
Nuts. That cult classic Beyond Good and Evil that they're trying to make a new version of. I can't remember what it's for. I want to say
that was Rare?
No. Just on the Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Trying to think of what else was on Xbox.
I only remember Halo.
We played the hell out of Halo. Oh my God, DDR. It had the pad.
I always played the PlayStation 2 one.
They had the pad.
Funny story about that, before we get into the GameCube, was the biggest game for me through high school was Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
That was the biggest game I played. And I remember that was what I looked forward to going to. Because a little bit of background, I actually grew up here in this town that we currently live in. Adam actually grew up
in Tell City.
In Tell City. That's like 2 counties over. Yeah, two whole counties over. About an hour away. So every few weekends or so, I would drive up there, and my main goal was to go to my cousin Cody's house, go to his basement, and play Melee with the boys.
Yeah.
Loved it. Never had a problem. Walked down there with my GameCube controller, plug in, everyone's ready to play, there's pizza, it's great. I walked down to that basement one time, and they're all playing on the Xbox, and I'm like, cool, all right, boys, quit. Let's go play Melee.
Yeah.
And I'm walking down, and they're like, no, Beau, you'll love this game. And I look at the screen, it's a first-person shooter. I'm like, Melee? Like, are we gonna go play Melee? And they're like, no, it's called Halo. You'll love it. And I did not play a Halo game till Halo 3 because I was so fucking mad that I drove all the way there to play Melee and no one wanted to. I legitimately walked my ass back up. I generally would stay the whole weekend.
Jade Empire was on the Xbox.
Yes. I can't wait to talk about Jade Empire, but
God.
I walked my ass back upstairs and went home.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you were that paid.
Yeah. Oh, I was so mad. Yeah. I did not come to play Halo. I went there to play Melee. And I didn't play a Halo game till Halo 3 because of that.
They would have also been playing Dynasty Warriors a lot. Like
they played a ton of Dynasty Warriors.
If Luke was here, Luke would still be saying he loves Dynasty Warriors. In fact, I'm sure he's just waiting for me to get the Hyrule. What's the Hyrule one on Switch? The Hyrule Warriors. Yeah. I'm sure he would absolutely have a blast if we got that.
I think there was a Gundam one for PlayStation 3 too.
Really?
Yeah, that's tight. That's really tight.
I'll have to look that up later. I had no idea that they did a Gundam one. It's got to be better than the first 4 episodes of Gundam Wing.
So going back to the Xbox, obviously other people could talk about this one more than me. I didn't. It was, I think, our first American company home console ever. That is the stupidest thing I've ever said. The first one since the fall of the Atari.
Yeah.
No, we did the Atari Jaguar in the 90s. Oh, that was terrible.
I don't even remember that one.
Oh, of course you don't. The 90s had so many console releases. No one knew what the hell was going on. Like, so many home consoles in the 90s. But, and only like 5 of them that we remember.
As I'm looking through as I am looking through all the 1,047 games that were released for it. Oh my God, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh yeah, classic games.
That was originally for PlayStation, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. It's kind of funny. The games released in this generation is just so telling for our generation, like millennials. Like they
Yeah, most of these. I think you hit the nail with the hammer. It was Halo, and then if we were playing anything else on the Xbox, it was Dynasty Warriors, and how about we top it off with the Jade Empire?
So Jade Empire was I did not play Jade Empire in its entirety until Xbox 360 did their huge backwards compatibility patch.
Yeah.
They did that. I went and bought a used copy of Jade Empire Special Edition. Me and Aaron, I think, went halfsies on it, or he bought it. He was living with me at the time. And dear God, that's such a cool game. Yeah. Like, it was back before BioWare sucked.
Yeah.
Fresh off KOTOR.
Yeah.
KOTOR. We didn't talk about KOTOR.
Yeah, I was going to get to it, but Knights of the Old Republic, yeah.
Anyway, they were fresh off KOTOR. They wanted to do something fresh.
I didn't realize that Jade Empire was after Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes, much after. But Jade Empire it's so cool to take that traditional RPG thing and put it in a different. I am a sucker for taking a traditional RPG genre and just putting it in a setting other than medieval Europe. I'm a sucker for it.
The thing that got me out to try Knights of the Old Republic, and I never actually finished Jade Empire, but I have played maybe the first 8 hours of it or whatnot. But Neverwinter Nights got me into that with the 3D thing that they did there. Between the two.
That also was a transition from second edition rules to third edition rules.
Yeah. What was KOTOR based on? Third?
KOTOR was based on the Wizards of the Coast had just purchased the license for Star Wars, or they got the license for Star Wars, and they released a Star Wars tabletop RPG, and KOTOR is based on those rules.
Gotcha.
You could pick three. You could pick from three of the classes in that.
But no, you're right. The adaptation of the martial arts and Japanese culture or whatnot.
Chinese.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. Chinese culture or whatnot. Like the chi, the different styles.
Such an incredible, and the story. The story when you've played through it, haven't you?
I've only played through a part of it, but I don't care about spoilers.
Finding out that Master Li is the bad guy is just absolutely.
Oh my God! Really?
It is not. It is not. Belay that order.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
But it's darn good.
If there was, this will probably come much later in life. I can't see them not eventually doing it. But an updated HD remake of those games would just be beautiful.
BioWare is under hot water right now because Anthem blew. Anthem
really
blows. It's and also BioWare. There's a lot of their people talking to video game journalists like, "Hey, like it's horrible."
I'm sorry, but when your trailer starts off with some actors being like, "Hey, call up Joe. Hey, Joe, what's up? Hey, let's go explore that area for a little bit." Game's gonna suck. I'm sorry.
Yep, EverQuest Online Adventures actually did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
When it came out for PlayStation 2. There was a little clip, and it was a guy walking out of a very affluent fellow walking out of the office, and he's like, "So we slaying that dragon?" And he's on this old Nokia.
Yeah.
And then there's a girl that's clearly a cheerleader. These people are not playing online.
No.
It's just Anthem was
it's a commercial. They're not going to be in their natural setting that you just happen to be filming in.
And that also reminds me, one of my biggest pet peeves in sitcoms is nobody playing video games actually looks like they're playing video games. You are not moving your analog stick that much.
Yeah.
So that's sort of so and they have BioWare's got a lot of people talking about the video game journalists like, hey, it is hell working here. There's people that just lock themselves in a closet and cry for 15 minutes of stress. And they're not making a quality product. What was the last good game BioWare made? The last objectively fantastic game they made?
Did they make Mass Effect?
They did make Mass Effect, but Mass Effect 2 was objectively amazing. Mass Effect 3 was not. I think it was a good game. Not an amazing game.
That one's not Andromeda, is it?
No, I forgot about Andromeda.
Because that's the one I know.
That's the one you bought for Dawn. and it sucked out loud.
Yeah. I forgot I gifted him that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You were super excited about it. And Don... It was the great... Because our friend Don loves broken games.
Oh, yeah.
Loves... His favorite game of all time is Deadly Premonition.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So he loved... In fact... I think you made the joke once that Don doesn't know if he likes the game or not until he's read like 87 text-based Let's Plays.
He plays the game. Ask him in 10 years if he likes the game. He might have an idea.
But he was pretty confident that Andromeda blew out of the box.
Yeah.
He didn't need 10 years. And he tried to make Adam feel better by being like, well, there's this scene where you're not animated that good, and I kind of thought that was funny.
He did play through it, though.
He played through. Don's a good guy. You're not going to buy him a game and him not play through it, but
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
But other than that, BioWare did. We're totally getting off of.
To talk about how great Jade Empire was, which Jade. At one point in this cast, we need to pick the best game of each one of these systems.
For Xbox,
Jade Empire,
KOTOR.
Jade Empire. Everyone's gonna hate me, but although
at least they're super similar.
The best BioWare reveal of all time, I think even more than Master Lee turning out to be the bad guy, is the fact that you're a Revan. It's such an an obvious one.
Yeah.
The moment it happens, you're like, son of a bitch! Like they told you.
Yeah.
They literally told you. What was one of the first things you hear in the game is the Force can do terrible things to a mind.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did the Jedi Council as a whole do that, or was the Bastila the one that did that specifically?
I thought it was Bastila, but
KOTOR, the evil options in KOTOR are the best that BioWare ever did.
God,
you can literally romance Bastila the entire time, and then that scene where she gets tortured, she's like, "I know it must have been terrible for you watching me be tortured, but I'm proud of how strong you are." And you could literally say, like, "No, I literally just did that to hurt you more."
Yes. Or when you can order the Wookiee to rip Mission's arms.
You can make Zalbar rip Mission's arms out, and and if you do make him do evil things, he can't stop talking about how much he hates you. Yeah. Because he has to follow you. Because although
that life play.
That life thing, you could be deliciously evil in KOTOR.
It's
I actually can't bring myself to do an evil run. I have to watch other people do it. I know I can't. I have to be Jedi every time. Like, he rips her goddamn arms out.
I need to get back and tell Don to do a Let's Play of that because he is...
Oh, the Genghis Dawn one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was legendary.
Yes, it was. He didn't finish it. We need to get him to finish that.
Wasn't he trying to do the perfectly balanced thing?
He wasn't trying to be perfectly balanced. He just picked a character with a funny face and went with it.
My favorite thing I've ever heard someone say about KOTOR is when Nick was talking to us about the rat ghoul disease, and he's like, "I love how uselessly evil you could be with that because like like the Sith mentality in that mission is, sure, I could leave the rat ghoul cure down here where people actually need it. Obama, I could send it up there to be researched by people who will never need it but can make money off of it."
We need to call him over and talk about KOTOR for a podcast.
He knows so much. He was the one that told me that you could have a one-night stand with Bastila. You could literally have an awkward one-night stand with Bastila.
I played through it. I don't know if I understand every element of it.
She literally gets out of bed and is like putting her clothes back on. She's like, "Let's just never talk about this happening."
That's funny.
It's such a and you're in another thing is the interaction with Mission. Yeah. The Sith interaction is literally leading the innocent girl to the wrong side of the tracks.
Oh yeah.
You're literally the guy with the leather jacket smoking that she thinks is cool, but her parents are like, "You stay away from that boy."
Oh man. And moving on, because now we can actually get to the Gamecube, which is what I owned one.
I owned one.
Legitimately, that was the system that I had a lot of games with that I remember, and just it reignited my my passion for gaming.
Absolutely. The GameCube absolutely did that for me as well.
Games I wouldn't have normally thought about buying. I got for that system. But let's start with the elephant in that room. Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Melee made me want a GameCube.
Yeah.
Melee. In fact, interesting thing about Melee sold more copies than GameCubes.
How to pull that off?
Hey, you might lose it. People loved it so much that they kept buying it. Melee's still a highly coveted game because, of course, it still sees professional competition.
Yeah.
Melee staying power in professional competition is pretty incredible. Competitive Melee is old enough to join a war and die.
But no, that one was good. That was a proper successor to the previous.
A brilliant E3 presentation, too. A brilliant one because they're trying to push GameCubes.
Yeah.
And Miyamoto's on the stage. He's like, so we wanted a game for the GameCube. And remember, Smash Brothers is only 2 years old at this time. Mm-hmm. The original Smash Brothers came out in 99. Yeah. And he's like, we wanted a game that could really showcase all of our characters with GameCube graphics. We think we have a pretty good idea. And then he played the opening movie for Melee, and the crowd loses it. Yeah. And this is before E3 is a huge thing. Like, it's still huge, but it's not like a mind-numbingly, like, this isn't where we expect to see business altering. And I think the GameCube, the sales just shot up through the roof.
I know one I particularly had fun with after that, and one I never thought I would, is Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime was such... Because I remember hearing that it was going to be a first-person shooter and being like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't want anything to do with it. This is Metroid. And I remember the first time playing... That is one of... Metroid Prime is probably the most atmospheric game ever. Yeah. You are there. You're on Talon 4.
Yeah.
And the music was just so incredible.
Serene at times.
Vendrana drifts, the music there.
Yeah.
Just fantastic.
It was good.
You are Samus.
Yeah.
And I was a teenage boy.
Yeah.
So that's an incredible thing to convince me, a teenage boy, that I'm this buxom badass broad.
Nintendo 64 was the first time I came into gaming, really. I mean, my brother had a NES, but I was 4.
Right.
Anyway, so I didn't grow up in the time of the 2D worlds where Metroid came from, where Mario came from, and all the others that are surrounded. So Metroid for me on the SNES was never going to happen. Metroid in a 3D area after I just got done with Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, all those 3D platformers, that was happening. Mm-hmm. And it works. So it felt like it followed the same formula that those Rare games did, almost. In that,
I can see that. There's a lot of collecting, a lot of exploration, but it was pure Metroid. It was pure Metroid in 3D.
Absolutely Metroid.
Pure Metroid.
It was an adventure platformer in a Metroid skin with a Metroid story, and it worked.
I don't know how true this is, but Brie Larson, the woman that played Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah.
And from everything, I haven't seen it personally, but everything I've heard, that's an excellent movie. Apparently, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently she went into a Halloween party dressed as Zero Suit Samus.
Wow.
And she's expressed that she's a huge Metroid fan and would love to make a Metroid movie.
That'd be interesting to see how that would work.
Nintendo is becoming very loose with their movie making.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu comes out next month. Can't wait.
That is an interesting one.
And Illumination Entertainment, the people making that make the Minion movies and Despicable Me, they're making a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh God!
Don't know. I think that sounds good.
We'll see.
It's not going to be the 1990 Super Mario Brothers movie.
No.
Or was that 91 or 93?
They do a reboot
there. But Metroid Prime.
I can't wait for 4.
I cannot wait for 4.
I can't wait for the trilogy to come out on
the Switch. Yes,
because I never played 2 or 3,
and they're all great. They're all fantastic.
But I plan on it. I plan on grabbing a trilogy for that. They have a collector set, I might get it.
Right. I mean, it's
like I loved Metroid Prime.
We're grinning like schoolboys just remembering Metroid Prime.
Seriously, good times. Did you play? Was Resident Evil 2 originally for GameCube?
No. Resident Evil 2 was originally for PlayStation.
Because I remember
it was re-released.
Cody had that for GameCube.
Yeah.
And I know I love watching speedruns Resident Evil 2. What other games did they
Mind
have?
if I grab a Busch Light?
Oh, I don't care. No, so many good GameCube games for that. In fact, probably the one I wasted a ton more time on was Animal Crossing.
Oh my God, Okay, so Animal Crossing. So Animal Crossing was okay. So I remember for the SNES, there was a game that came out for the I'm going somewhere with this. There was a game that came out for the SNES that I just could not wait to play. It was called Harvest Moon, and we all know what Harvest Moon is now. It's a game about farming.
Yeah.
That was the hardest fucking game to tell my friends about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you go and you be like, this game's so like it's so cool, like it's so different. They're like, what do you do? And you're like, you farm, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it was 1996. I was 10.
Yeah.
But anyway, Animal Crossing was the same one. People are like, what do you do? And you're like, nothing.
You want to take
incredible.
it a step further? The Nintendo 64 version, Harvest Moon 64, not only did you have the uphill battle of telling your friends that it's a game about farming and living the simple life. Did you play 64?
Yeah,
Harvest Moon? Do you remember the intro movie?
Yeah.
Your grandfather's funeral is what it opens up with. Hey, here's this great new game. Why are you so happy? What? Your grandfather just died, and you're inheriting this patch of crap that you've got to rebuild.
Of course, marriage is part of Harvest Moon games too. That was always difficult to pitch to your friends.
Oh yeah.
Because of course you want to get married. It's one of the things you can do. You want that achievement before achievements existed. So anyway, Animal Crossing came out. Hours on that game.
So many. Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they're doing for the Switch.
I can't wait. I've never been excited to get a mortgage in my life than for a Switch.
Oh, and you owe like $50,000 for literally a room.
No, it's a shack. What? We are in the Hong Kong housing crisis with that game. No,
and the original Animal Crossing. Remember, you could get Nintendos that had Nintendo games on them.
You could.
Why don't they bring that back? Because they're selling on Virtual Console and everything. That's probably why. But City Folk for the Wii was great. Wild World, New Leaf.
Older senior citizens. I think the one that has been recorded as having the longest amount of time on it has something ridiculous, like 7 or 8 years logged in real time on it. She plays it every day.
Like a senior citizen, like a nursing home.
Yeah, she's
fantastic.
She's an older lady.
Love it.
I'll send you the YouTube link. It's actually kind of a neat story.
There was a thing on Reddit or Tumblr, I can't remember, but it was a guy whose mom loved Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And he went and logged on her file years after she died, and she wrote him letters to his character, and it's just a heartbreaking story.
That's nuts.
But Animal Crossing, I can't wait for the announcement. I can't wait. And another thing, if you guys have not gotten a Switch yet, and you just want to remember being a kid, all these like new editions of these series, like if you want to go back to 1999, sitting on your Game Boy in the back of the bus, buy Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. Buy those games; they're fantastic. Pokemon Coliseum.
Yeah.
Not Coliseum. It was Coliseum for the GameCube. Pokemon XD for the GameCube. God, and Melee.
Following back on a game that came from Dreamcast into the GameCube, my first Sonic game was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Oh, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Before we get into this, because I'm going to mention something about Sonic Adventure 2, let's go back to Animal Crossing real quick. Town Hall is one of the top 10 video game songs of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
When the lead instrument in your song is whistling, that's just fantastic.
That's a fantastic time.
Now going back to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, my 8-year-old son, he'll be 9 next week. Two of his favorite songs of all time are "Live and Learn" and "Escape from the City," both of which are from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
You're Sonic, and not only do you run, but you skateboard on things. You're grinding on rails. The drum solo in the jungle level is perfect.
So
and then the chows, or what is that what they were called?
Chow, yeah.
I don't know why, but the that little side thing that you can do, raising
The Chow
them
Garden?
and going having them in competitions and whatnot, excellent.
The Chow minigame is great. And Sega, if any employee from Sega is listening to this at all, buddy, you will be the CEO of Sega tomorrow. Just follow this little bit of advice. Chow mobile game.
I would do it.
Chow mobile game. There's no reason not to give that to us. Or Sonic Adventure 3 with a robust Chow system.
You know, that's what they really need to do. Instead of like mobile games being their own standalone thing, a complement to the other game.
Because if you
we're
remember,
we're in the year of ubiquitous computing.
Dream,
You should absolutely have different platforms.
So Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2, you had the VMU with the Dreamcast where you could take it out and it had a controller on it.
Oh,
Your memory card literally could be a little game.
Yeah.
You could take your Chow with you. Nintendo GameCube.
It grows whenever you walk.
Nintendo GameCube. You could put the Chow in one of your Sonic games for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 3. Just make it to where we can take our Chow with us on our phone.
Yeah.
Sega,
it grows if we do 2,000 steps in a day.
Sega, you
get a level.
You hit gold with Sonic Mania. Sonic Heroes just didn't work out that great for you. Just give us Sonic Adventure 3 with a robust Chow system. Just do it. But Nintendo's being smart. Nintendo's giving us all these GameCube classics we can't wait to play.
Yeah.
Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. Just...
Oh, yeah. And looking at the list
God.
there. That one I actually never played.
Oh, go back and play it.
I remember thinking that it was going to be a Mario RPG.
It is. It's the sequel to Mario RPG.
But for whatever reason, it didn't hook me like the seven
stars, yeah. Because that's more of a traditional turn-based RPG, whereas this is more in the vein of the original Paper Mario, which Paper Mario became a platforming thing eventually, and I miss the RPG elements.
I will say that, and you will remember this one because I think you were part of the marathon that went on with this game, Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mario Kart Double Dash was the first game I bought. No, it was the first game I played at launch.
Yeah.
Cody.
Yeah.
We went with Cody to Walmart in Tell City at midnight, picked this game up, and played it for, I'm not kidding you, 72 hours straight. In fact, what's funny about you saying that you think I was part of the marathon, me and Cody were the only constant participants.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that played for 72 hours straight. You left to go to work, and I think you fooled around with a girl at one point too, like a loser, while we stayed down there and played video games. We were like 16 at the time. We were, but Don went to work, I think. Luke went home and slept.
Yeah.
We were the only two that were constant, and I just remember his mom coming down and saying good morning like 2 different times. Like we played that game.
Yeah. That one was so fun. I kind of wish they would either re-release it or put it as a DLC for one of the Mario Kart games.
I have not liked any Mario Kart game since as much.
It was
legendary. One of my favorite things about it, we joke about this with the guy at work all the time, or I do, because you don't work where I work. But Daisy, no matter what happened, whether she passed you, hit you, or something, the only line she really had was, "Hi, I'm Daisy." So she like passed you, "Hi, I'm Daisy." Hits you with a shell. "Hi, I'm Daisy."
Did you play Luigi's Mansion on the Cube?
Yes, it was a launch title.
Yeah,
it was incredible. It was such a smart move not to make the Mario game although the Mario game was absolutely incredible, but we'll get to that. But Luigi's Mansion, it was really neat. You had the Ghostbusters vacuum cleaner. Yeah. Very neat game. Loved it. Luigi's Mansion 2 for the 3DS was great. I can't wait for Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch.
Eternal Darkness. You remember that one? I own that one.
Cody and Aaron played that a ton. I never played it.
It was the one I played through with Cody, and I still remember us finding out that the walls were bleeding when you weren't looking at them, and us freaking out over that.
I think statues and paintings would do freaky things. It was a legit. I remember watching a little bit when Cody played it. It was a legitimately freaky game, and Aaron still loves it. Aaron could probably talk to you about it for an hour if he came over and did a podcast.
God, I really wish. Thinking along those, I had Rogue Squadron 2. I never played Rogue Squadron 3, but I really Disney, please.
Right.
A Rogue Squadron.
Take the license away from EA.
Yeah.
Quit it.
Or just do it right. I don't care who makes it. Just do it right. Just please sometime. And then my first real JRPG was Skies of Arcadia on GameCube. There was nothing I loved more, and definitely I remember seeing and hearing reports of how long it took to beat that game and thinking, I'll never do that. I did it, and it felt like a blink of an eye. Airships, elementals, turn-based, and then you're going through all of those different high fantasy settings in a JRPG style.
Yeah, it was.
That is why I enjoyed Dragon Quest XI when I did, is because I experienced Skies of Arcadia and knew what I was getting into with Dragon Quest.
And the GameCube is what healed. Speaking of Dragon Quest XI, which is released by Square Enix, the GameCube is what healed SquareSoft and Nintendo's soured partnership. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was released for the GameCube, which ended that dry spell.
Yeah. Was Crystal Chronicles any good?
Not really, but
hey, it was there. It wanted to go to work, and what after were there any other 6th gen consoles?
Those 4 are the major ones. I know there was a lot of but this was kind of after that 90s boom where we hit
on PlayStation, and we hit the Xbox, and we hit the GameCube.
Yeah.
Gosh. Those are such good times.
So what was your favorite from each one? You never played it? Have you ever played a Dreamcast?
No, but if I did, it would have been Phantasy Star or
Phantasy Star Online with the first console MMO.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It would be a close contest between that and Skies of Arcadia if I had a Dreamcast back then. Because I remember I got to play like a demo at a Toys R Us of Phantasy Star Online, and it was enough to hook me for that time.
People still do fan servers,
but it would have been Skies of Arcadia for the Dreamcast for sure. If I had to pick one on the GameCube.
Well, you skipped 2. Dreamcast, then PlayStation 2, then Xbox, then GameCube.
PlayStation 2.
The bouncer.
I didn't own a PlayStation 2. Yeah,
you played one.
A bouncer was there. I don't know. What would you pick for PlayStation 2?
Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Easily. Nope. Walk that back. I'm so used to playing it on the PlayStation 4. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Gotcha.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best play. And for my pick for Dreamcast, by the way, Shenmue.
Okay.
So Shenmue for Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, Kingdom Hearts 2.
I don't know what I would have picked. I'd end up falling back on one I remember either playing in the basement with all the guys and just having a good time. And that would probably be something like I don't know, one of the Final Fantasies or something.
Like 10.
Quite possibly. Because a lot of the ones that I remember Cody having were single-player games or whatnot. The PlayStation 2 only had 2 controller ports, right?
Yes.
So
correct.
if we were all over there, we weren't playing that.
If I was there, it was Melee.
Yeah.
It was Melee every time I was there.
We were busting out whatever had 4 controller options for that. Because he didn't have... I know there was that adapter for the PlayStation 2 to let you...
But not every game was compatible with that.
That and... I don't think he had it.
No.
So we weren't really playing a lot of PlayStation 2. Well, after that, Xbox, Halo. I just have the best memories from it.
Not KOTOR. Crazy.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's still hard. Yes, I loved KOTOR. Probably tied for my top favorite RPGs. And still going back, my reasoning being is just it's good memories from back in that time where we're all 4 sitting down there playing 2v2, or we're trying to play against the computer players, or we were trying to beat a level. Good memories from it. But no, KOTOR, if I had to split up, the multiplayer game, all right, Halo. Single player game, KOTOR. Which I would have to go over to Cody's to play it. We had 2 different save files, I remember, on that.
I actually would pick for Xbox. I never played it on the Xbox natively, but Jade Empire Special Edition.
Oh, the same. By the time I actually beat KOTOR 1, 2, and I never even attempted to play Jade Empire until Steam. So,
the way I play it now is actually on Origin. Origin had it for free for a month.
Oh, that's right. It was on Origin, not Steam. That stand corrected.
Did you do? Because I think I texted you about it being free on Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, talk shit about EA all you guys want. I agree with you. But Origin, the free game a month, like I think it might even be every 2 months. But the free game is never just some throwaway piece of crap.
Not Jade Empire.
It's typically a pretty legend. It's going to be an old game, but it's typically a pretty legendary game.
Yeah.
And I'm all about gaming history being preserved, in the sense that we can play these games.
GameCube is a really hard one for me to pick. I have a huge soft spot for aerial Star Wars games. So the Rogue Squadron 2, I played into the ground. I'm not even sure my disc worked after that game. And had I really registered that 3 came out, I probably would have got that. Even though like it's not like for a lack of reviews or playthroughs being out there. It's there. I just never got it.
Like I said, we just weren't big internet users back then.
Right. Again, Skies of Arcadia was another one I actually did play for GameCube. It would be up there. But probably my top pick for it would I would probably have to be alongside you in Brawl.
Melee.
Melee. Melee was that top game for me.
Yeah, and now the thing is, I'm not like Melee guys. Like, I don't still think Melee is the best. I do think Ultimate is the best game they've ever released.
Oh my god.
I love Ultimate, but Melee, and the thing is we never play competitively, because actually play competitively in Melee, you actually have to, you literally have to cheat. You have to exploit glitches in the game. Armada dropped out of a tournament one time because he didn't have a controller with the proper malfunction to do his technique.
Oh my god.
Only 150 controller. So that's why, like, Melee not being at EVO this year does not break my heart at all, as much as I loved it. It's how many, and them whining so much about it just seems like entitlement, because how many games have missed their chance because of Melee. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, during its time, Melee was just a kingly game. It was fantastic. In fact,
another one of those good times over at Cody's.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, when you guys were playing Halo, I hated Halo so much. Still to this day, I've not played a minute of 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I played a lot of 3 because I had a 360. I went into GameStop one day just to look around. They were like, "Hey, Halo 3 came out today," and I was like,
"Aren't they re-releasing 1?"
Yeah, I believe so. Because I think the popularity of that, what was it, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, it got remastered and everyone loved that.
Yeah.
So I think Bungie's sort of jumping on that.
Would I forgot all about this till now? Would Wind Waker shake your opinion?
Wind Waker was an incredible game. I can't honestly tell you I put as much time in it as Melee.
I still haven't beat it.
But
I have the HD one for Wii U.
Wind Waker is Wind Waker's another kingly game.
Yeah.
The GameCube was a time when Nintendo felt like being boldly different.
Yeah.
And they hit it every single time.
Agreed. They weren't. I dare say that they were still following their Nintendo 64 methods.
It was the Wild West for Nintendo.
Yeah.
They took several risks that just happened to pay off very well.
Yep.
The biggest one probably being releasing Animal Crossing to the West.
Yeah. Well, we are coming up, not quite an hour, but we're getting close.
Really?
Oh yeah, we're at 52, 53 minutes or whatnot. But anyway, any final thoughts? Anything you suggest anyone going back and playing? Like, out of all of the consoles we talked about, what's one game you suggest, if you haven't played it, go back and play it?
If you have access to Steam, Xbox One, or PlayStation 4, buy the Shenmue collection. Buy that, play those games. They really flew under the radar because they just weren't what the West wanted when they were released. Mm-hmm. Excellent, fantastic games. Sonic Adventure 2 is still flawed, very flawed, but still a great game. Yeah. You could probably get a Dreamcast on Amazon right now for like $30.
Oh yeah.
Play one, man. Just play one.
Yeah.
They're fantastic game.
Yeah. Kill a weekend.
Yeah. The 6th generation. If you weren't cognizant during the 6th generation, I feel for you, man.
Yeah.
My favorite game series of all time came out in the 6th. That was Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Good times. Anyway, I'm Adam. Always a pleasure to have you, Beau, talk with us. And I'll see you all next time.